This video is on the Spartan political structure. There are multiple different types of constitutions. Democracy is governing through the entire population or all the eligible population of a state. This is how Athens governed itself. Oligarchic governing is a small group of people having control of a state, and a monarchy is a form of government with a single person at its head. Spartan government is a mixed constitution as it is all of these things. Spartan citizens could vote and make decisions for the state, such as deciding whether or not to go to war. The Gerousia forms an oligarchy, as it is defined by Aristotle as the rule of a few. Spartan government also contained a diarchy, as there were two kings at the head. The Great Retra, or the Spartan constitution, has been estimated to have been implemented in the 8th century BC. According to Plutarch, the Great Retra was an oracle that Lycurgus brought back from Delphi. Xenophon's writing of the Spartan constitution is made up of 15 chapters. This included not only the political structure, but also parenting methods, the education system, what makes a good Spartan citizen, general dedication to the state, and justice. The Great Retra also included the reorganisation of the army to include the mess systems and the Gerousia. According to Xenophon, it was both illegal and sacrilegious to disobey laws that had been sanctioned by the oracle at Delphi. The Pythia told Lycurgus to institute a Gerousia of 30, including the founder leaders. The founder leaders were the kings of Sparta. The position of the Spartan king was a hereditary position in that it passed down from father to son. It was also a dual kingship in that there were two kings of Sparta, one from the Agiad clan and one from the Euripondid clan. The king's powers could be separated into those relating to military, religious, and judicial functions. They were commanders of the army, and their religious duties included being chief priests as well as presenting themselves with exemplary morals. There were multiple religious responsibilities that came with being king, that included being given an animal on the first of every month to sacrifice to Apollo. Kings were also responsible for the safekeeping of all oracles. The kings also supervised domestic matters such as public roads. And judicial powers of the kings also included deciding who could marry orphan females, and according to Herodotus, adoptions were required to take place in the presence of a Spartan king. According to Plutarch, the ephors were introduced about 130 years after Lycurgus's reforms. There were 5 ephors elected annually by chair. Part of the criteria to be an ephor was that you had to be over 30 years old, and once you were elected, you could only hold the office once in your lifetime. Section 8 of Xenophon's constitution contains the Spartan systems of obedience and hierarchy, and as according to Xenophon, the ephors had the power to punish people at will, and even demand payment for fines on the spot. According to Xenophon, the ephors' powers also included being able to depose a magistrate whilst they held office, imprison them, and even put them on trial for their life. There were 30 members of the Gerousia. This included 28 officials elected by the Apella and the 2 kings. The members of the Gerousia were elected by chairs from the Apella. This meant that a group of people who couldn't see each person up for election listened for which chair was the loudest, and whoever got the loudest chair was the person that was elected. To be a member of the Gerousia, you had to be over 60 years old, and once you were elected, you served for life. Each member of the Gerousia, including the kings, only had 1 vote on any decision that was put forward. The Gerousia could also serve as a form of court officials, and anyone could be tried in front of them. This included the kings. The Apella consisted of all Spartan citizens over the age of 30. The Apella did not have the power to bring forward any issues, and they could only vote on those brought by the kings and the Gerousia. This is different to the Athenian assembly, where citizens could speak and bring motions forward themselves, as well as electing officials by lottery. rather than by cheer, which is how Sparta did it. However, in Plutarch's Life of Lycurgus, if the appella made a crooked choice, the elders and founder leaders are to set it aside. So even if the appella votes for something, if the Gerousia and the kings don't agree, they can just ignore it. Further reading and the ancient sources are on the final 2 slides.